Jan Reha with the Career Discovery Show. In the last segment, I spoke about new businesses that emerged during very tough times. And I talked about the fact that I would be interviewing people who started their own businesses, many of whom started during recessionary times. One of the things that I want to point out is that we have a lot of small businesses in America who are not always given a lot of recognition, and that's what I would like to do in the next segments ahead. It's important to know that small businesses provide approximately 70 to 75% of the net new jobs added to the economy, represent 99.7% of all employers, employ 50.1% of a private workforce, account for 39.1% of jobs in high technology during the 2001, represent 97% of all U.S. exporters. One area I'm particularly interested in is women-owned businesses. Women-owned businesses really didn't exist until the last 20 years. And particularly in this one industry, the male bastion industry of construction. I have a friend and a colleague, Diane Glenn, with Construction Consultants of Washington.
Yes.
And Diane, I'd like to welcome you to the Career Discovery Show.
Thank you, Jan.
Yes, I want to talk a little bit about how many women actually own businesses in the U.S. It's important to know that 10.1 million firms are owned by women, 50% or more, employing more than 13 million people. And $1.9 trillion in sales. 3/4% of all women-owned businesses are majority owned by women, 51% or more, for a total of 7.2 million firms employing 7.3 million people and generating $1.1 trillion.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yes. Diane is one of those women. And I'd like to have you tell us a little bit about how you got started in this male-dominant industry, which is quite a pioneering feat.
Well, it goes way back. I've actually been in the construction industry all my life, my adult life anyway. And I got started many, many years ago and worked for contractors and that sort of thing in the industry. And then I had the opportunity to start my own company. And this was in Idaho. It was very male-dominated. There was very few women in construction itself. And starting a small business was a challenge in itself. Whether it was in the industry or not, any industry, it was very much of a challenge. And I took it on and thought it would be easy. It was just the opposite. Because I think one of the biggest things that I realized early on was that as a small business, you're responsible for every facet of that business. And it comes down to not only being aware and having the knowledge of everything you're doing within that company, but also having the ultimate responsibility for whatever happens.
Lots of effort and, like you said, lots of responsibility.
Yes.
Tell us about your first area of when you just got started in your own business, in terms of, you know, having a building construction business.
Yeah, and like I said, it was very unusual for a woman. But I sought out, I was very involved with the Builders Association there and took some roles in leadership, and I was actually the president of the association for a year over there.
I just wanted to ask you, were you one of the very first women presidents of that?
I was the first woman. Yes. Yeah, the association was 50 years old, and then I was the first woman after all that. After all that time, so it was interesting.
You're a real pioneer.
Yes, yes, I think so, yes.
So you got involved with the Builders Association?
Yes, that was a real good avenue for me. And I networked around and did a lot of marketing within my company. But you know, I was a small builder, and it was very competitive anyway.
So what time was this? What year?
It was during the 90s.
Okay.
Yes, I actually started in the 80s, late 80s, but I had my company going for about 10 years.
All right.
And moved to Seattle in '99. So during the 90s, and there was some tough times. Yes, I remember a couple of years. It was very challenging for everyone, and then being a small business was even more challenging.
So what got you through those challenging times?
A lot of determination. I was determined to succeed and make a name for my business. I had a real passion for it, and I love building. I love the industry, and it just kept me going. And every day it was even the challenging days. I said, I got to do this. I'm responsible for this.
Did you have employees at that time?
Off and on, yes. A few over the years, I did have employees, and that was an added responsibility.
Yes, not only taking care of your own needs, but taking care of your employees as well. That's
exactly.
That's tough.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what brought about the end of your reign in Boise and brought you over here to Seattle?
Being a tough industry, it was, I got a little burnout on the actual building side of it, but this is the industry that I love and know. And I wanted to branch out, and I wanted to move away from Idaho. Seattle was my first choice, and it was the best choice I could have made. I love it here. And when I established myself in Seattle, starting my consulting firm, it proved to be just a really good decision for that, because I was still in the industry, taking all the knowledge that I had gained over all those years of building and applying it as a consultant to the builders. It was so rewarding.
Well, tell me, so you went from being a builder, a woman-owned business, in the building as a builder, and now you decided to go into consulting.
Yes.
What made you decide to do consulting? What energized you about that?
I think just I was amazed at how much I had in my head over the years, and to be able to go out and advise people, and I do also, I teach some classes, and being able to take that knowledge and actually make an impact and help other businesses grow and be better, no matter what size they are. That is so, just so rewarding, and I wouldn't want to do anything else.
So how is it different to be a consultant versus having, being a business owner in a construction company? How does it differ?
Well, it's still a lot of responsibility.
Okay.
I think the biggest difference going from a building company where you're actually creating a product to consulting and you're providing a service, I'm relying more on my knowledge, and there really is more responsibility on me in that regard just because of that, because it's me. I can't put out a product and say, well, this is what I produce. It's here. This is what I produce.
What's really interesting is that you have moved from a widget-oriented type of business, a hands-on business, to what is now current for many of us, a knowledge-based business.
Exactly.
And so now instead of selling big widgets, you're selling your knowledge,
Right.
and so in that way you kind of developed and promoted yourself as an expert.
Yes, I have.
Was that challenging at the very beginning to announce yourself and to proclaim yourself as an expert?
Yes, yes. Part of that challenge came because I was a woman in the industry. And I got a lot of acknowledgement for that over here in this area, more than I think in Idaho. But still, there was a lot of set patterns, and they would look at me and go, well, you're a woman, what do you know? But as soon as I started talking to them about the industry, then they thought, well, they gave me credit because they knew that I knew what I was talking about.
I wonder if it might have been a little bit difficult for you because you're blonde as well.
Maybe so.
So you really had to struggle through some major stereotypes.
Yes, and still do, even after 9 years.
Great. And I want to talk about those more in our next segment. So in the next segment, I will be interviewing Diane and asking more about her present business and the ups and downs of working in a business that is a knowledge-based business today. This is Jan Reha with the Career Discovery Show. Keep tuned. Thank you.